We're live. We're live. We're live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy
Good
Wednesday
morning.
to
Good morning.
you.
Good morning. Like. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Wisdom Wednesday. We do have a topic today. What's holding you back? Identifying and overcoming mental blocks.
The older I get, the more I realize the value of our mindset, the value of our mental blocks. And mental blocks, normally, here's what I learned about mental blocks, things that keep us, normally they are based upon a lie. Their mental blocks are based upon a lie that we choose to hold on to as if it's the truth. You're not good looking enough is a lie. You are too good looking enough. You're for the world. You're not smart enough is also a lie. If you hold up, I'm not smart enough to get this done. I'm not good looking enough to get this done. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not big enough. All these things. I'm too little. I'm too big. All these things that mental blocks that hold us. I don't have enough money. Mental blocks that are based upon.
I don't have enough experience.
I don't have enough experience. These are based upon untruths. But we're going to talk about her name is Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll.
He is Brian K.
Interesting that Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll is wearing a lab coat.
No, a shirt over my dress.
Okay, a shirt over her dress. But it could also be considered a lab coat. But anyway, that's not what it is. But when you join us on our show, let's talk about it. When we talk about personal conversations and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans thrown in.
That's what we talk about. That's what you tuned into. And we're going to have fun with it today. This is also Wisdom Wednesday. We have a special guest today at 9:15.
Wonderful wisdom. We can't wait to share. And we're going to talk about that and more back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am LisaSantiagoMcNeilll.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to you each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like.
Good morning. They look great on the screen. Let me see. So, topic. What say you about this? Can you go comments?
Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Uzama. Thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Let's see how we look.
What's holding you back? That's what we're talking about. Identifying and overcoming mental blocks. Many, if not all of us, are challenged with something that was left in our minds that we have allowed to live rent-free all of the days of our lives.
Has anyone ever heard that you talk too much? Has anyone ever had that written on their report card? Lisa talks too much. Brian talks too much. Brian's very talkative. Lisa's very talkative. Did you ever have that on your report card as a negative?
It's always a negative because that's not the standard.
Right.
That's not what they want. They don't want you talking too much.
The mental things that hold us. Sister Sheila Gothard, I'm excited you're in the room because I would love your thoughts on it too, because you as well as Brother Uzama Ra have gone through journeys of learning and education and teaching of others. You've learned some things. So today's topic is what's holding you back, identifying and overcoming the mental blocks. I've already said so far that most of the mental blocks that hold us back are based upon an untruth that we hold on to as if it was true. That's what it's based upon. I'm not tall enough or short enough or whatever. We overlearned it. No one can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Right? Can any good thing come from that city? Nobody in your city ever makes it. That's not true. Okay, yes, there is good things. The flower grows in the concrete too. Those things that hold you back. So I don't want to just keep identifying today. I do want to delve into them, but I also want to conquer them today. So hopefully you guys can help us come up with cures to the mental blocks that hold us back.
Sometimes just realizing the source of the block is enough to overcome it. One of the things that I think I was challenged with for years and years and years, and I still find it creeping back in every once in a while, was something that was said to me from someone that I thought was supposed to be the at least enough older than me, in a position of respect, that I would give the regard to what it was that they were saying.
Okay.
And I think I still deal with it from time to time, but I realized that they didn't have any real authority.
They didn't know any better than you. Why was I listening to them anyway?
Exactly. They didn't have what?
Dr. Dre, in one of his videos, he had like a little movie at the beginning of the video, and he's going through the house to go pick up Snoop to go do music. And the guy in the living room sitting on the couch watching a game show or something. He says, "I need to quit that music stuff and go out and get a job." Mm-hmm. You know, and y'all Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg now. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to quit this music stuff and go out and get a job. And Dr. Dre gave him a retort. "You're right. That way we can grow up and be just like you." Mm-hmm. And then he kept on doing his music thing. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Considering the source, he was young enough at the time, he was smart enough to consider the source. Who's telling me to do this? Is the person that's advising me doing better than me? Or doing what I want to do? Psalms 1:1. Don't take the counsel of the ungodly. Don't take advice from people not doing better than you. Absolutely. Mr. Daniel Cobrainer, what's up, man? I seen him in another meeting this morning, the mastermind. So we're talking, Daniel. I want your input too, if you would, sir.
What's holding you back?
Identifying and overcoming mental blocks. That's our topic for today.
What is it that you find yourself drifting in focus to, even though it may not either have enough regard towards what it is that you aspire to do, or you have mistook this piece of information and carry it with more regard than it ought to have?
What's been holding me back? Now, some circles, nothing's holding you back, Brian. You're going, you're publishing, you're doing this, you're making money, you have all these clients, you got all these recommendations, you're doing great. But in my alone time, mm-hmm. I think I could be doing better. And I question what's holding me back too.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with believing that you could do better than what you're doing.
Well, I think it's a part of it.
As long as we put it in the right regard and not to disregard where we are for where we're trying to get. Because when we disregard where we are, then it's almost a level of disrespect.
Okay, go down that road. What do you mean it's a level of disrespect?
The word of God says to be faithful over few things, and he'll make us ruler over many. Sometimes we'll see where we are and eschew it or poo-poo it, or otherwise anybody can do this type of thing, type of attitude, whether it's spoken or unspoken. Sometimes in the back of your mind, I could be doing that over there. But God assigned you this stage to get to there. And by offering your all to where you are and respecting how you got to where you are, you will inevitably open up opportunities to move forward.
Yeah, one of my favorite life examples from my life was when I was just into the Army. I was in the Army very long at this point. I came in as the wrong way. I came in as a private E1, which is the lowest level you can start. If I had done any kind of planning, I could have came in 2 levels higher, but I didn't know any better. So I came in as an E1, private first class, a private E1. Then you get promoted from E1 to E2 basically by breathing well and doing what they tell you to do. But to go from E to E, you got to have accomplished something. Okay, so I was an E3, and I was with a bullet. I was a private first class E3, but I was promotable. I was getting ready to be promoted again. I had been promoted quickly. I was a good soldier. And I had a roommate who was also a good soldier too. And he chose, when him and I both got private first class together, and he chose to go to the tailor and have his rank professionally sewn on his uniform. So he's always sharp and doesn't have to go through an extra step. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be at this rank very long. I'm not going to sew mine on. I'm going to take the challenge and just put it on every single day the way it's supposed to go on. Instead of having it professionally sewn on, which they encouraged me to do, I was doing it myself a day. And he got promoted faster than I did. Now, why did he get promoted faster than I did? I even thought about it. I was talking to him about it. Because he did. He respected his current place so much that he made it look permanent, like he was proud to be there, and he got promoted from there. So what does it take for them to just take off that old rank and sew on the new one? Okay, that taught me a lesson. I should have did it too, but I didn't have any counsel. I was going by my own strength and my own knowledge, and I had to get that life lesson.
Yeah. Well, you did have counsel, and this is one of the things that we deal with so often. We get counsel and we disregard the counsel because we know better.
Yep.
You know better. You know better than this. He can't tell me nothing. I got this. We're in the same rank. How he gonna tell me what's better? Okay.
Most of the time in life we mess up when we think like that.
Do it your way. I believe I've gotten to an age where I almost hurry people up to that point. Listen, wait. Let's clear this up front. If you've already decided that you know how to do this, not only well, but better than me, why?
Why are you talking to me?
Why are you talking to me? Why? I love you and I wish you well. But there's someone who may be more receptive to the information that I have and more willing to apply that information, and they will be rewarded for that in life.
Willing to deal with your stuff or your I know, and your attitude better than me.
Because it ain't me.
It's 4 minutes until our special can come here. You got to a level of irreverence.
You give me two. I know that you give me two of those. After the first one, I just don't even hear it. The second one, I'll say, I wish you the best of luck.
Dr. Sheila got this.
She says, I now say, I see you got this all figured out yourself. Absolutely. Dr. Sheila, I think you are probably more eloquent than I, because I really get to a level of frustration, particularly when someone is consistently pushing into my time, but don't want any of my information. I'm not sure what you want me to do with you.
Dr. Sheila doing that nicely. Oh, I see you got this all figured out yourself.
Dr. Sheila, you gotta add, God bless you. You gotta add that on the end.
Nicely said, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Do it your way.
Absolutely. Because I'm not trying to change your mind. You might have something there, but you came to me asking me, and I'll tell you up front, either this is something I have knowledge upon, or this is not. And whichever one it is where we'll go from there. If I'm telling you that I have information on this, then it's because I do. If I'm telling you I don't,
you can get with that.
Yeah. I see you got this all figured out yourself. I like it. I might have to borrow it, Dr. Sheila, because it might do better than, okay.
I see you got this all figured out yourself. It reminds me of this young man trying to quote, take a teenager, talking to his dad, and his dad tells him something. He says,
That's right. Oh, yeah.
God bless your heart. He says, well, William Shakespeare says, and he quotes William Shakespeare, and the dad goes, look, you want to listen to me, or do you want to listen to your friends? Shakespeare.
It's okay.
Hey, Shakespeare.
I just smile, and then my thoughts travel to Hawaii, and I stop listening while I'm still smiling.
We got 1 minute to our special guest. I don't know what he's going to talk about. I never know what he's going to talk about, but I always know it's going to be amazing. I always know it's going to be dynamic because he comes from the heart.
Absolutely.
I almost feel like I need to go run in my room and put on a jacket or a suit coat to listen to what he's about to bring.
You know he's going to be slick and fly.
Yep. Wave
and Devona.
And Devona. We're gonna wait until 9:15 mark because we're almost there. But this is a topic, and I think it's a topic worth thinking about often. Because what happens is, even if we get good word that inspires us to think differently, even a little, what happens is as we go through life, we regress back to the comfortable.
Absolutely.
It's like a magnetic pull back to what's comfortable. We regress, so it has to be taught again and again.
Right, that's what I was going to say. That's why it's so important to hear it once over and over again. I'm going to share some of the learning tools that I've been utilizing when we get back from our wisdom.
Coming to the stage, Mr. Mark Greer.
To your Apartment Duo family, I'm back with you again for another edition of Wisdom Wednesday. You know, sometimes in life, when we're trying to achieve a goal or build a business or make something meaningful happen, occasions where some people will throw some negativity at you when they tell you they believe in what you're trying to do. They'll tell you that you're wasting your time. They will do everything in their power to discourage you. Empowerment Duo family, I'm coming to you this morning with a simple message and a simple challenge. Are you willing to be unstoppable?
Okay.
When everybody's throwing this negativity at you, are you willing to be unstoppable? Because there are going to be times when you will be your biggest cheerleader, where you will be the only one on your side, and everyone is telling you that you're not, and you're going to have to look at those people and let them know beyond a shadow of a doubt, my faith is unshakable. My belief in myself is unmovable. I am unstoppable. Craig Sabb says this all the time on the show. He says, I am greatest.
Yep.
I'm a duo family. I like that same message. I am unstoppable. If you make that choice to be unstoppable, to have your faith be unshakable, to have your confidence be unbendable, and have your presence be unmovable, some things in your life that are going to happen that are going to amaze those very same people who said you would never do it, who said you couldn't make it, who said you would never amount to anything, who said your idea was crazy. And it may be crazy to them because they're not doing what you're doing. They have made the decision just to stay in one place, but you have made the decision and the commitment to say, I am unstoppable. And as long as you commit to it, as long as you believe in it, there is nothing on this planet or in this world that cannot be attained. If you're looking at someone who did it, it doesn't mean they're better than you. It doesn't mean they're more skilled than you. It does not mean that they were luckier than you. It means that one person on this planet and in this world did it. It means it can be done by you, because that person who made it happen for themselves has the same 24 hours of day that you do. And they chose to do something with it. They chose to be unstoppable in their pursuit of what it was that they wanted. Empowerment Duo family, if you do nothing else today, look into a mirror, find someone close to you. You can even say it to someone who does not even know you and go up to them and say, I am unstoppable. There is nothing in this whole entire world that is going to move me, shake me, or somehow break my spirit. I am unstoppable. And there is nothing that anyone can do about it. And then when they look at you and say, what makes you think you're unstoppable? All you have to tell them is, I said it, I believe it, and that makes it so.
That's right.
Empowerment Duo family, be unstoppable. Be so unstoppable, people will come to you and say, I think you're a little conceited. And what you can tell them, because I am unstoppable, You don't see conceit. What you see is someone who is committed, someone who is convinced, and someone who clearly understands that in their power, they can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They can be unbelievable. They can be unshakable. They can be unmovable. And I am unstoppable. Empowerment Duo family, that's all I have for you this morning. As always, be a miracle. Be something special. Be a blessing. Be unstoppable. We'll talk to you again soon.
I love this message.
I am unstoppable.
Wait, let's say it together out loud. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I am unstoppable. Say it to yourself, y'all. Doesn't it feel good to say it? Say it with your chest. You know, it's a practical thing too. By saying it out loud like that, it changes the chemicals in your body. I am unshakable. I am unmovable. I am the greatest. Well, every time Craig Sabb says that, he feels better. Why? Because it's changing the chemicals in your body. Sister Vicky Linnell Evans says, I am unstoppable. Dr. Beverly, uniquely taking over Thomas, says,
unstoppable, unshakable,
unbendable.
Go all the way in. Amen.
Grand rising to my favorite, awesome, beautiful family. Thank you, Dr. Beverly. Vicky Linnell Evans says,
I said it.
And that makes it so. Because I said it. I love this message from Mark Greer. Man, I wish Mark Greer could be here.
And confident. Amen.
I'm committed. And you know, Mark Greer said in his talk, when someone looks at you and they think that you might be conceited, they might even tell you that you're being conceited. No, what you see is not conceit. What you see is my commitment to being great.
And my confidence.
What? That's not conceit. I wish I had that answer when I was a pre-teenager. Brian's conceited. No, Brian's committed to being great. What?
That's right, Sheila. I am unstoppable.
Say it with your chest. I am unstoppable. Vicky, Charlotte Jeanette Wise says, good morning to Vicky Linnell Evans. Did we get all the comments, baby? Did we miss any? Okay.
No.
I'm glad we didn't miss any comments because I don't want to miss yours either. But doesn't that just change the atmosphere when you say, I am unstoppable? I am the greatest. Muhammad Ali had a quote. He had lots of quotes, and I love all of his quotes. But he had this one quote that says, I said I was the greatest before I knew that I was. He said he was the greatest before he knew that he was.
Good morning, Antonobi.
Is that practical? To say that you're the greatest before you even know it?
Well, is it practical? The first question, the first response to any question for me is, what does the Bible say?
Okay.
And there is a verse where I have seen speak those things that be not as though they were.
Okay.
So it would sound practical to me.
It sounds practical. Let's say it's the Bible. Speak those things as though they were.
She said, I said good morning, family first.
Okay, I was just checking. That's why I was asking if we missed any comments. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Sister. I'm not talking junk. Okay. Good morning, Antonobi. Say it with me, Antonobi. I am unstoppable. Come on, Antonobi. Say
that
it.
Is one way to overcome mental block.
Oh, how
is
appropriate.
To speak affirmation. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord.
Mark Greer said also in his message, there may be some times where you have to be your greatest cheerleader. There may be some times when you're the only cheerleader that you have.
That's right.
But that's okay.
It is what it is. And Antonobi says, yes, I am the greatest and unstoppable.
She says, dude, that felt good. I wanted to feel good. Good morning. Vicky says, good morning to all you unstoppable people. Dr. Deborah Justin, I hope you've been here the last 5 minutes because you walked in on a party.
Absolutely.
Mark Greer's message today set us off, Dr. Deborah. Say it with me. She said, Dr. Deborah says, good morning. Say it with me, Dr. Deborah. I am unstoppable.
Dr. Beverly goes on to reiterate commitment and confidence over conceit.
Because I said it. Because I said it. That makes it
and
so.
I meant it, and that's it.
Wow. This morning on my Facebook post and my LinkedIn post, I posted the same thing. I said, your talent, your time, your energy, your solutions, those things, all those things you have can and should be sold for money or something like that.
Mm.
And then I put, I said what I said.
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 That's all we have. And the picture is a dollar bill, but the dollar bill has a quote in it. All we have in life is what we can sell.
Mm.
That's all we have is what we can sell. We sell our time when you work a job. You're selling your time. Look, you agree, when you work a job, you agree, I'm going to show up at this place of business and do these things that you assign me to do in exchange for money. You're selling your time and your talent and your energy.
Exactly.
If you don't have a job, if you're working for yourself, you're still selling your solutions, your time, your talent, your answers. You're selling you, man.
And speaking of selling, there are those who are in sales in intangible services, specifically the areas of money services, financial services. And tonight, Brian is teaching a class, Empowering Financial Professionals. Tonight's lesson is going to be one that you don't want to miss. It is Never Chase Clients Again, building referral generating practices. I'm telling you so that you can understand how to turn satisfied clients into the best source of new business. You can learn how to craft simple, non-awkward asks. You can understand how important the loyalty loop is in keeping clients engaged so that they will naturally become part of your team. They'll naturally be part of your sales team.
It's so interesting how God works. This morning in my Wednesday morning mastermind, the topic was how to attract more of your ideal clients. Attracting more of your ideal clients. In a room of 18 people, we had a lot of great ideas. Well, part of the great ideas was to get some referrals. And let people see your referrals, what others said, and to ask people that are happy with your services, would they refer someone to me? Okay, I mean, get some recommendations. Get your recommendations.
Absolutely, get your recommendations up and ask for referrals. And you can join us tonight at Empowering Financial Professionals at 8 p.m. Eastern. That means do your work. Get your stuff done that you need to get done for your Wednesday. But your Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. is all about what you can do to enhance or improve your business. Join us tonight. Go to bit.ly.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time virtually.
Go to bit.ly/SCC129. That is SCC129, so that you can be a part of the lesson.
Craig Sabb, if you didn't see it this morning, you want to watch Mark Greer's message because he shouts you out, Craig.
Yes,
and Mark Greer's message on his video, Craig, he says, our friend Craig Sabb says it all the time. I am the greatest. Craig Sabb says, good morning, everyone.
And he's encouraging you to include I am unstoppable with your morning affirmations. And I'm telling you, it's that important. It's the word of God tells us why it's important. It says faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. So when you hear it over and over again, that will improve your chance of conceptualizing and internalizing it. That's what I wanted to say before we went to break. I wanted to talk again about this is not a sponsored section, but I'm telling you, there is so much benefits to Network LM. I find myself, when I'm working on a project, it helps me to sort of infuse myself with that project, right? To infuse myself with the notes from the author, to infuse myself with the manuscript. I often have to get finished with several reads on the manuscript before identifying what the format is going to look like. What's going to be the best way to get this message out for this particular author? Well, right now I am working on Brian's latest book. And as a result of that, I decided to use one of the tools given to us by our own Google guru, Notebook LM. This time I did something different, which I have not done before, but I'll probably do it again. I put the manuscript into Notebook LM, just the manuscript, because one of the things that I realized with that tool is what you put it in is what it's going to believe as true. I did not want any contradictory thoughts in this particular podcast is what it does. And after putting in the manuscript, it created a podcast with reiterations from different perspectives of all of the amazing information that you all are going to get to see in this latest book that Brian has put together. While working on the book, I'm listening to the book.
Did you listen to the
listening
podcast?
To the podcast?
I gotta get it.
Absolutely.
I was surprised when I did it because I still owe her one thing. I owe her the About the Authors page, and I was going to get that to her today, but she's been progressive and proactive and doing that as well. I can't wait to hear it myself. There's a lot more
that goes on before the pieces and parts that people see. There's so much that I have to do even before that, and a lot of times those parts go on behind the scenes, figuring out what is going to be added to it. What's the best course of action with this particular
I've been working
project.
on this book over a year. Over a year, I've been working on this book. It's called Selling Financial Services is Different. That's the title of the book. And I think I like the cover that we designed. I know some people are questioning it, but I like the cover. I want to read what Vicki Linnell Evans posted here.
She says, let's celebrate Senator Cory Booker's filibuster record breaker today. 24 hours and 19 minutes?
24.19 hours. Senator Cory Booker out of New Jersey, he spoke, because once you start speaking on the Senate floor, there's no time limit. You can talk as long as you need to talk. And he spoke for 24.19 hours straight to hold back some of the unfair practices that the current administration is going through. They had to sit there. Okay. He spoke for 24.19 hours.
Without a bathroom break or any kind of break?
I'm not saying he didn't have a bathroom break. They might have had breaks.
He might have just wore some Depends and said, y'all go stand.
They may have had bathroom breaks. They might have had a nap. I don't know. But he spoke for 24 hours. So he broke a record. That's the longest ever. And you know what the record he broke? I found it so interesting. The record he broke would happen in 1967 or 57, 67, when Senator Strom Thurmond out of South Carolina was opposing the Equal Rights Bill. Mm-hmm. And he spoke for like 20 hours or something like that. In opposition of civil rights for like 20 hours. Okay. And they all and that was the record. I'm so grateful that Cory Booker broke that record now.
Amen.
So it should be celebrated.
Absolutely, we do celebrate him. Dr. Beverly goes on to say, today's topic, what's holding you back, and mental blocks today should be gone because I said so.
Because I said so. Thank you, Dr. Beverly, for saying
Shirley
that.
Shirley says, I am excited about the book.
Thank you, Sister Shirley. Amen. I am too.
Shirley, it was because of you that I decided that we'll also have an ebook release on that book. It was not previously determined.
But Shirley influence.
Yeah, Shirley, it was your influence. Absolutely.
I'm excited about it too. I've got, this would be my 8th book, okay? It's like the question of which one of your children do you love the most? I love all my books, but there are some books that I like more than others. Like I love all my children. But this particular book, I think is going to do some things for my life. And it's taken me a year or so to do it. But I'm so happy that it's closer now, that we got a cover, that we got all the content that I'm going to put in the book is done. It's going through the publishing steps and processes right now. And at some point it'll be released to the public. But we in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch now. So I'm excited about that too. I have one more book that I want to publish later this year that's also almost written, completely written. You want to tell you about it?
No.
Okay, I won't tell you about it now. But it's 932, the teen edition. Okay. My book 932, the 9 most important words, the 3 most important skills, and 2 most important questions. One of my favorite books that I've written, but I wrote a teenage version of that. That book was written for like 8 to 10, 11-year-old range, but the teenage version is pretty much done too. And I want to publish that probably in the fall. Probably. We'll see.
On This Day in African American History by Michael A. Carson, April the 2nd in 1863. 3. Susan King Taylor became the first African American Army nurse in the United States, serving
Really?
the 1st Regiment of the South Carolina, where her husband served for 4 years during the Civil War. Despite her service, like many African American nurses, she was never paid for her work. As the author of The Reminiscence of My Life in Camp with the 33rd United States Colored Troops, she was the only African American woman to publish a memoir of her wartime experiences.
What's her name?
Her name is Susan King Taylor.
In South Carolina, during the Civil War, when they were fighting until they could maintain slavery, she was a Black woman taking care of soldiers. What?
Without being paid.
Without being paid in South Carolina. Goodness gracious, that's tough duty. And she did it. Oh my God.
That's right, Vicky. She says Strom Thurmond, his filibuster was in support of segregation, which opposed people like Cory Booker ever being on the Senate. But look at God. Amen.
Sister Vicky, it inspires me too. I'm glad it inspires you too. It inspires me that Cory was willing to do it, that he had the energy to do it, the stamina to do it,
tenacity to do
it, and the record that he broke and whose. Yes, that does.
That part.
Goodness gracious. I mean, because people don't want you. If they don't like your opinion, they don't want you talking at all.
They don't want you talking at all, let alone for 24 hours.
So it takes some FU in you. Some FU. You got to have some, Cat Williams called it some, I'm going to use the words that rhyme it. You got to have some luck it in your system. If you could just get this in your system, some luck it in your system.
Yeah.
Okay. You stop worrying about stuff and you just do what you got to do. I admire that talk that he did. Okay. It's the fact of what he was talking about and why he was willing to do it for so long as he did. Thank you, Brother Cory. That was amazing to me. I'm glad we had our moment in African American history today as well. We're doing really, really good on time. Thank you. Dr. Beverly, I think, put the bow on it too.
Absolutely. What's holding you back and mental blocks should be gone, because I said so. When we stand firm on what the Word of God says about us, for us, and regarding us, we get to the place where we can stop worrying about what other people say and remind ourselves the creator of what he says.
There's a in the Word somewhere where we can speak things.
Yeah, speak those things that be not as though they were. We've been told.
Have I not told you that you were gods? Have I not told you that? Yes, you can. You can say it and it's so. I'd rather, I remember what's the girl said? She goes, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. That's Doja Cat, I think. You got any young people in the room? You got any young people?
Sorry,
I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Has anybody other than me heard Will Smith's latest song? I like it. You
like it?
Yes.
I saw somebody spoofing Will Smith, but I didn't watch what they were talking about.
I like it. And in Will Smith manner, he did take responsibility, even in his lyrics, for not being everything, but being everything he can be.
I'm off Will Smith.
I'm sorry.
I wish I wasn't.
Vicky said, I heard it. It was funny. Absolutely. I heard the funny parts in it. He had a little bit of self-deprecation in there, but he had enough reaffirming of, listen, I might have messed up, but I'm back.
Okay. And isn't that interesting how when you mess up like that, it takes some doing. It takes a lot of good acts to recover from a bad.
I like it.
So he's still in his recovery process. And before I lost respect for him getting out of character and smacking Chris Rock, Will Smith was one of those people that was lining up to be one of the motivational speakers that I listened to.
And I think he is. I think you will find.
He was posting a lot of good stuff. I was watching his stuff, and he was about to go into heavy rotation for me.
Sure, I get
For
it.
me.
And
Okay.
I hope that you will get to find that sometimes a person can mess up, can fall off their perch, and otherwise become less in your eyes. And should they desire to persevere beyond their own mistakes and even take responsibility for what they've done to recover.
And I get that. I had bought his book.
And those are often the most powerful motivators.
No doubt. I bought his book and I was reading his book, but when that incident happened, I stopped reading it. Okay, because I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't have the same thing. But you're right. But I'm also right too. It takes a lot of good acts to recover from a bad. You could do good all your life and then smack a brother, and then good works is not thought well of anymore. Okay, because you tripped. Okay.
Which is why it's so important.
Anybody
Both
could
things
trip.
are important.
Anyone can make a mistake.
Both things are important. Understanding that, walking in areas of upstanding are difficult, respecting that journey and the difficulty of that journey, but also understanding that, like Vicki says, the recovery is greater than the fall. Absolutely. It is so important to realize that the fall could have been inevitable. One of the things that we talked about last night.
That's getting really creative. Alibi for him, baby.
Yeah, I'm not alibying for him. I'm alibying for every one of us who have, in our quest for doing good, still had some human moments.
Right.
And they might not have even been human moments. They might have been divine moments.
We don't always say the right thing. Saying the right thing and doing the right thing. We do make mistakes. If you talk long enough, you're going to say something dumb.
Absolutely. One of the things I actually love about that I think that D.L. Hughley, I love him, but what I love the most is you can't transcribe anything that he says, because it's almost as if he intentionally conflates what he's saying, so you couldn't really hold him accountable for that, because I changed it a little bit in there. You might have thought that was what I was getting ready to say, but that's not what I said. So you couldn't hold that against me. But anyway, I digress on that. It does sound like rhetoric, but listen to him and then imagine you could read the transcripts of what he said. There will be no way to make any sense of that.
That's your publisher and editor here.
You need the tonality of the inflection of how he goes back and forth to know where what is. But I digress, you're right. But understand, one of the things that I was thinking about, in order to even remember that sometimes our mistakes are divinely made. Some of what we perceive is a divine mistake, we believe is an actual mistake, is actually divinely intended. And the thing that I was going to mention was the message that I discussed last night on Women Empowerment Networks. We talked about Lazarus. Lazarus and his death, his sickness and then death. Jesus knew he was sick. And Jesus was very familiar, not only with Lazarus, but with his sister Martha. And he loved them very much. But when he heard he was sick, he waited 2 days before leaving to go take care of them. And you might think that he messed up or he missed the mark. But what if that was by divine design? What if him getting there while he was sick and bringing him back to healing was not the objective? The objective was actually showing that he could bring him back to life from the dead. In order for him to bring him back from the dead, he would have to do what? Let him what? Die. Exactly. So sometimes we don't know. That's why the word of God says that his thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways are not our ways. We don't always understand what's working in the works there. Maybe there's somebody that needs.
I know you're right, but I'm going back to that moment with him. Vicki Lynell Evans says, I agree with Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll. It's difficult to remain on the pedestal that others put us on.
Absolutely.
They put us on those pedestals, but we allow it to happen, Sister Vicki. Okay? We allow people to put us on our pedestal too.
We allow people to put us on pedestals? Yeah. We're not always in control of who esteems us.
Okay,
we're not always in control of who holds us at whatever higher standard or higher regard. That's often what happens to PKs.
Will Smith did things on purpose to get that. He made those quotes. He wrote that book. He did those plays. He was excellent.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
But he didn't say, put me on a pedestal. He said, I am going to live my life in this way, which was him endeavoring to live out loud the way that people believed or perceived was the best way to live.
You believe that was his truth?
I believe that it was what he felt was his responsibility. I can't say what he believed or what he knew. I also know that a lot of times what we do in public is different from what we do in private, and some of that is by design.
I want to read Dr. Beverly. She says,
it takes a made-up mind to admit. Then it takes a changed mind to recharge and recover. When you don't allow your mistakes to misrepresent you, you can move forward and break any chain that comes to bind you, because I am saying so. Absolutely.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Beverly. Oh, it's 9:45. Let's read Vicky. She says,
I'm a combination of my strengths and weaknesses. Oh, so you can handle my strengths and not my weaknesses. I'm human. Absolutely.
Vicky, that's amazing. Thank you for saying so. I want to say this before we read the songs. I like to listen to stand-up comedy as I'm going to preparing for that. And I've been trying to make my way through Chelsea Handler's latest stand-up comedy bit. Now, she did one last year when she was talking about, she goes, it's me, Chelsea. And she was talking about her relationships to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I really like that thought she was putting out there. But this one here is very personal. She's talking about her whole life growing up and how she lived in New York, but her family had a house up in the Hamptons, and every summer they would go to the Hamptons. And she was talking about how she goes through her life, and when they want to go somewhere during the pandemic, we just decided to rent a house in Maine. We went to another house in Maine. We travel first class and all that. It's making me realize her life was nothing like mine. I don't relate to her at all anymore. I'm not liking it. Oh, we just go rent this and that. And I had a meeting with this, and I was meeting with this Mick Buck in her life. That's her real life, but I can't relate to her anymore after watching this. It's interesting. It's 9:46. It's time for us to say thank you to those of you who consistently contribute to our podcast here. And the contributions are things you say in the chat. And we have greeting songs and greeting logos for them. For example, at first it was Uzama Ra.
Bitcoin King, he's a Bitcoin King. Uzama. Bitcoin King, he's a Bitcoin King. Uzama.
What are y'all doing? We're saying thank you the way we say thank you, like we're doing for Sheila Gotha right now.
Sheila, storms are brewing in her eyes.
Oh, that's Sheila Gotha's jam right there. Vicki Linnell Evans got one when it goes, Vicki Evans rocks. Steady rocking all night long. Vicki Evans rocks. Steady rocking till I break up. Rocking. Shirley Dijonette Wyatt's got one too. Shirley Dijonette Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Shirley Dijonette Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Antonobi Evans has one too. This is one that we all can participate in. Sit up straight into your chair. Take a lot of air with your body and say, thank you, Antonobi.
Dr. Deborah, I just realized that you didn't take your books for joy when you were here.
What books? Oh.
Craig's ad.
Wait a minute, Dr. Deborah, you were just talking to her. Dr. Deborah has a song too.
Yeah, but I'm not up to her.
Yes, you are, right there.
Dr. Deborah, nonprofit strategist and funding coach.
Mm-hmm. And then Dr. Beverly's next on our list. Dr. Beverly goes, Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. And good morning to you and the rest of your crew. Good morning to you.
Craig's ad. 1,000 degrees.
You'll be on your knees and you'll be running back and please. Brother, please, Craig. Let me borrow your VCR so I can dub a tape. Craig, I do encourage you to watch the replay and watch Mark Greer's segment. It started at 9:15 this morning. He shouts you out, bro.
Vicky said, I disagree, Brian. Sometimes we don't have control of the pedestal people put us on. So allowing or disallowing isn't a factor.
Interesting.
I agree with that.
Interesting point, Dr. Sister Vicky.
Shirley said, have a blessed day. And remember, you are unstoppable. Absolutely. What I was going to say is there's so many pedestals that we put, we being the collective, might have put preachers' kids on, right? Your father's a preacher, your grandfather's a preacher, your great-grandfather's the bishop, right? Now you're a regular 20-year-old, but you happen to say 4 words together that have to do with God, and now you are the prophet such and such. And you got to carry all of that baggage, or else you're letting everybody else down, or else you're letting your witness down. You're letting all these things down. And oftentimes that can hold us back from he might not be able to have a life.
Last night's topic in the men's meeting was the weight we carry.
Mm-hmm.
The weight we carry, the responsibilities of being a man today, and lifelong leadership responsibilities called the weight we carry. And man, did we have a time talking about it. The weight we carry as men. Wow. Today, my pretty wife gets to do daughter-in-law duty. What are you going to do today when you get out of here, baby?
It's not duty. It's part of what I get to do. I'm getting ready to go hang out today with mama.
No, you're not going to hang out. You're taking it to the doctors, right?
I'm taking it to the center. But that's her business. Maybe she don't want her business on the street.
Anyway, goodness gracious. Vicky Linnell Evans says,
I think it's fair not to put her business on the street.
That's not putting her business on the street. I was talking about you, what you're getting ready to do.
Right.
But Vicky says,
even on our level, people put us on a pedestal. Someone said to me after divorce, I had you on a pedestal, but you let me down.
What?
Honey, I went through. But you know
after
what?
A divorce, oh my gosh.
Listen. That's why I believe you are entitled to your opinion. You don't know what led up to Vicky's decision. You don't know what led up to anybody's life. You don't know what led up to whatever.
Someone said to her, that's a horrible moment to me.
Yeah, there are some moments when I hear some people talk about how can you be a minister and you're a divorcee. I've had that conversation. I'm like, you know what? You and I should probably both ask God when we get there.
How could you be a minister and say that or think that? How could you be a minister of the gospel and have a drink?
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife drinks very rarely. Okay, very rarely she'll have a drink, but she will when she feels like it.
So, I understand and I respect people for their choices, but understand those are your choices, and it's not an admonishment against my choice either. Mm-hmm. And I am respectful of yours, and I wish that you would be respectful of mine. And if not, then enjoy whatever fanfare you want to make out of it while I enjoy this moment, this drink, this conversation, this whatever. But you know what?
One of the DJ that wife says, Dr. Lisa, that is a blessing. Enjoy your time today with mom.
Thank you.
And laughing at something. She applauds something, Dr. Lisa Santiago McNeilll. We gotta go. I got an appointment very soon, so I need to transition.
Soon and very soon.
Yeah, I got.
Is it gonna ring today? Is it gonna ring?
It looks cloudy enough to rain to me. But I got 30 minutes, but I want to get a bite of something before I go into my appointment.
You had a shake, and I put extra protein in.
I do, but I'm gonna get me
one to chew.
I'm gonna get me a slice of chicken breast. I'm not gonna have anything else, but probably just a slice of chicken breast to add to it before my appointment, and then I'll be good.
If you believe this week is already halfway done, we'll see you tomorrow for Thoughtful Thursday as we continue our journey in getting to listen and learn together.
We'll ask Jesus when we get there.
Please, that's true.
We'll ask him.
And hope you're there.
All right, we gotta go.
In the meantime, in between time, don't